Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Baseball Reference Deep Dive with Zany Baseball, where we type in random in the search bar on Baseball Reference and we see what we can learn. In our last episode, we got the legend of Dylan Maples, the Forgotten Fire Extinguisher. Had an incredible 2021 season, pitched in 5 seasons. That was his best year by far, and then he never pitched in the majors after that. So we got a nice little deep dive on a player. I'd love another player. I don't want to get too greedy necessarily, but after our very first player, we got another one. So I'm hoping we get another player here today. So let's hit random, see what we get. Ooh, she's really thinking today. Nope. We've got another box score, a 2001 game. This was literally like a month and 2 days before I was born. We've got a Florida Marlins win over the New York Mets. Was this a walk-off? Nope, not a walk-off. Early strike from the Marlins, and then after that, it was just a couple runs here and there, and that's all she wrote. Game just about 3 hours long. Is this the old? Yeah, this must have been the old stadium. Did they play anywhere else? I'm not sure if they played anywhere else. Let's look at this Marlins team. Dave Dombrowski was their GM. Interesting. So they did not finish well. They were doing okay at this point of the season. They were over 500. And then they finished 10 games under 500. Let's see where they finished in the standings this season. Down there. Mets finished right around 500. Take a look at them here. Bobby Valentine, their manager. All right, so this is our 2001 year, excuse me. Marlins had a manager change. Tony Perez came in afterwards. They fired John Bowles earlier this year. All right, let's go through these lineups, see if we recognize anybody. Robin Ventura with the Mets, known for getting ejected from the game and then coming back with a little facade. He stayed in the dugout. He had like a fake mustache on or something like that. Mike Piazza, we've gotten him once or twice. Todd Zeile, we got him in one of our more recent episodes. I've seen this name. I saw this name recently. I don't know what from though. Kevin Appier, I think, is also a decently recognizable name. Ray Ordonez is one of my friend's favorite players of all time. Luis Castillo, I think he played for the Pirates at one point. Cliff Floyd, Mike Lowell, Derek Lee, Kevin Millar. Is this like a young Alex Gonzalez, maybe? Okay. Got some interesting stuff to work with. So let's start off with the Mets. Uh-oh, my computer wants to be slow today. Doesn't want me to dive deep into this game. This is an interesting game. I like these two teams. Kind of am always rooting for both of these teams. All right, what gives? Desi Relaford. I don't know who this is. I guess Baseball Reference doesn't want me to know who this is. Very sad. Very sad. Well, while that's thinking, we can look down at the play-by-play, see kind of what happened. So this was the big inning for the Marlins. Kevin Millar, RBI single. Dave Berg, RBI double. And then Eric Owens, 2-run single to make it 4-0. Our guy Desi Relaford that doesn't want to load, he had a 2 RBI double. And then is that it? Is that the only, or did I miss one? Oh, I missed a Jay Payton home run. Final score 4-3. Not really much of a threat in the ninth inning. All right, that's it. I've had enough. Let's reload everything. Let's see if that helps. Well, would you look at that? Simple fix. Simple fix. Desi Relaford. This was middle of his career. This is a pretty good year for him, respectively. Hit 302, never hit for much power. Career high in doubles to this point. Had a decent year with KC in 2003. This was the only year he was an above average hitter. Interesting. Desi Relaford. Edgardo Alfonso. Pretty solid career numbers. Middle of his Mets, well, I guess middle of his career. Was an All-Star the year prior. Won a Silver Slugger. I guess that would have been at, it was at second base at this point. Finished 15th in MVP voting this year. Kind of was a good stretch of power for him. Perennial 20 double guy. These 2 years, 99 and 2000, was hitting 40 doubles and 25 plus homers. 100 RBIs this year. Was hitting well. 304, 324. This kind of a down year for him, especially coming off of those previous 2 years. Looks like he kind of found his stride the next year in 02. Robin Ventura. No, different guy. I think I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Oh, this is the guy that got beat up by Nolan Ryan. Is that right? Nolan Ryan? Yeah. Yes. That's his... Who am I thinking of? Ventura. I thought it was Ventura. Oh no, wait. Wait, was it actually... Who was the manager for the Mets this year? Was it Bobby Valentine? I think that's what it was. Was it? I can't remember if that was him or not. Robin Ventura. 2-time All-Star. 01 with the Mets. His last year with the Mets. Then he went to the Yankees as an All-Star. Solid career numbers. Good bit of home runs every year, except for this year when he was hurt, it looks like. Mostly known for his time with the White Sox. 100 RBIs in several different occasions. It's a good little grid nugget. Several-time Gold Glover. Very good glove, it seems like. These really high D-WAR numbers. Robin Ventura. Yes, he was the guy that got socked by Nolan Ryan, I believe. Oh, I went way too far. Let's go to Rick White, though. See what he's got. Pitcher, journeyman, played for a lot of different teams. 01, his second year with the Mets. Had a good little stretch here. See a trade deadline acquisition here. He had a huge turnaround with St. Louis. Let's go to these here. I guess it was just free agency. Yeah, I guess. Oh, he was released and then signed as a free agent and then completely turned around his 2002 season, I think it was, right? That's not what I'm looking for. 2002. Yeah, look at this. 20 games, 22 innings, gave up how many runs? Like 2, 3? 2, yeah. Kind of some bad numbers, kind of the rest of his career. Just kind of hopped around a good bit. Rick White, one of the relievers in this game. We've seen Mike Piazza several times. I kind of had the discourse on if he was a better Dodger or Mets, and I think you could probably say fairly confidently that he was a better Dodger overall. This year, won the Silver Slugger, 36 bombs, not quite 100 RBIs, hit 300. Still a great year. I mean, if you look at his Mets years and his Dodgers years, it's not like he was like a bad player with the Mets. He was just wasn't quite as good and when he was with the Dodgers. Todd Zeile, one of the more underrated players. This was kind of a down year for him. Didn't hit for a whole lot of power comparatively to other parts in his career. This is his second year with the Mets, coming off of a much better power year. He just didn't hit for much power this season, which is kind of why his OPS numbers are down. Todd Zeile, very underrated player, very good player. Lenny Harris. Wow. Long career and not a lot of wins above replacement. Replaceable, but seemingly irreplaceable with how long he played. So this 2001 year, this is last year with the Mets. 110 games. Yeah, he's a bench guy. You can tell with how many games to plate appearances. About 2,000 games, only about twice as many plate appearances, so that would indicate that he was mostly a bench guy, like pinch hitter most of the time, I would assume. Played almost every position on the field except for catcher. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the only position he never played was catcher. Got intentionally walked a lot, too. 26 intentional walks for a guy that's just kind of coming off the bench. Lenny Harris. Dennis Cook. Pitcher. Good career ERA. Began as a starter, finished as a reliever, kind of a back-end reliever. He was traded this year, it looks like. End of his Mets career. This year was not a great year. Seems like he was kind of on the decline the year before. Let's see who he was traded for. July 27th. That's not very long after this. Actually, it's like 3 days after this. He was traded with Turk Wendell for a minor leaguer and Bruce Chen. That's just a couple of days after our game, right? Yeah, like 3 days after. Tsuyoshi Shinjo. Who is this, and why do I recognize this name? I think this is what it is. He was on the World Series team. Did he play? Yes, he did. I don't know why I recognize that name. Japanese player. I'm learning Japanese right now, which is kind of why my brain it gravitates towards Japanese names. This was a good year for him. He had a pretty solid, I guess, okay year with the Giants. 10 home runs, 23 doubles. I mean, below average hitter, but it's not awful, I guess. Was 1 for 7 in the World Series with 3 strikeouts. That series went 7 games, I think, right? I think it went 7 games. Yeah, it did go 7 games. All right. Tsuyoshi Shinjo. Benny Agbayani. Went to... Is this just Hawaii University or is this a different place? Hawaii Pacific. This was the end of his Mets tenure. Had a decent 2000. 15 homers. Did not really follow it up with a great year. Still somehow above average OPS. He was an abysmal fielder, though. Benny Agbayani. Jay Payton. This is kind of early on in his career. Was injured in '97. This year he didn't really play the full year. Was not the best, and then was traded. Was doing well before he was traded, and then he really turned it on in '02 with the Rocks. See if he was on any other meaningful teams. Doesn't look like it necessarily. Finished third in Rookie of the Year in 2000 with kind of just a decent year. Who did he finish behind? Let's see. 01. Rafael Furcal won Rookie of the Year. I didn't know that. He got a first place vote, our guy. Rick Ankiel. Was this when he was a pitcher? Yeah, it must have been when he was a pitcher. What's it say here? Yeah, this was when Rick Ankiel was a pitcher. Jay Payton. All right. Kevin Appier. When did he... Was an all-star this year. Was very good. Almost won Cy Young in 93. Who did he finish behind? Behind Randy Johnson and Jack McDowell. This was a wild Jack McDowell year. He was nuts this year. And I think it's kind of because, I mean, very good year. I guess, respectively, when you think about just like the White Sox, but how many games he won, you can tell that games won was a huge factor into Cy Young voting. Which, interestingly enough, well, Greg Maddux still won 20 games, and when your ERA is sub 250, you're gonna do a lot of good things. So this was his only year with the Mets. It was a good year. 11-10. He's a workhorse. Had a complete game shutout. That's cool. Not a strikeout guy. For as many innings as he pitched, he was just not a strikeout guy. Led the league in walks the year prior to this. Did not have a good year with Oakland. Also finished third in Rookie of the Year in 1990. Let's see who he finished behind here. Sandy Alomar, who won outright, and then Kevin Moss. I'm not sure if I know that name. Sandy Alomar, he had a good year, I guess. That's weird. I think Kevin Appier kind of deserved it. Sandy Alomar, great player overall, but this rookie year, 32 starts, 12-8 record, and a 2.76 ERA. I would have taken him. I would have voted for him. Gary Bennett, pinch hit in this game. Negative WAR guy. Is this his only game this year? Or it's his only game with the Mets? Whoa. Whoa. So this is like a deep grid poll. If you say Gary Bennett in anything that has to do with the Mets, then you're going crazy. He was traded. So he was traded the day before for Todd Pratt. I don't know who that is. So what's our day? We're the 24th. He was traded to the Mets the day before, and this was his only game. And he had a hit. So you could say Mets batting average over 300, theoretically. His one at-bat with the Mets, he had a hit. And then he was traded to the Rockies. Ender Chavez. This is the great value version of Endy Chavez. Huh, that's interesting. He was on the team for a long time. Maybe he got sent down. How many games did he play normally? Not a lot. Probably was sent down several different times. Played for a lot of teams, though. A lot of time with Philly. Never was great. Look at that. Look at this OPS plus with the Mets. Where is it at? There it is. 433 OPS plus. Wild. Jared Riggin. Not a lot of games. Second year. First full year. Had a really nice year. This was kind of his only good year. Didn't play for very long. A lot of walks. That kind of seems to be the standard thing when you see a guy that like pitches well but doesn't stick around for very long. Ray Ordonez. 3-time Gold Glover. Finished top 5 in Rookie of the Year in '96. A full year out of him. Didn't hit for much power. It's kind of like a whatever year. Played with the Rays. Played well in kind of some limited time, and then finished with the Cubs in just a handful of games. Ray Ordonez. Okay. And then Mark Johnson. Pirates hat. Never played very long. '96 wasn't much for him. 6 home runs this year. 71 games. Yeah. Kind of whatever. Play good defense? No, not necessarily. Dartmouth College. Don't see much out of there. Mark Johnson. All right, now to our Marlins. Luis Castillo. Different guy maybe than I was thinking of. Who was I thinking of? Something Castillo. He was with the Pirates. I forget his first name. A lot of stolen bases. 370 in his career. Look at this. Look at these walk numbers. He walked more than he struck out. This is a great leadoff hitter. 1,000 runs career. Almost. He's getting close to that 2,000 hits mark. Never hit for much power. He was on that. He was on both Marlins teams, even with those fire sales. Or maybe he didn't. I guess he didn't play in the playoffs in '97. But he was on that '03 team. He was a Gold Glover, an All-Star. Couple-time Gold Glover. 3-time Gold Glover. This was kind of an average year hitting for him, maybe below average. Solid second baseman, Luis Castillo. Actually, I want to look at that one more time. Just make sure I didn't miss anything at the very end. Okay, he played for the Mets at the end of his career. Yeah, not the Pirate that I was thinking of. I was thinking of somebody else. Can't remember. Can't figure who I was thinking of. Eric Owens. Played a lot towards the end of his career, but nothing super special necessarily. This is his first year with Florida. Kind of just some middling numbers. Nothing too crazy. Ferrum College in Virginia. I don't know where that is. Cliff Floyd. Good player. A lot of home runs. This little stretch, 20 home run guy. Ran him 34 homers with the Mets in '05. He was an All-Star this year. This was his only year as an All-Star. And rightfully so. 30 home runs, 300 batting average. OPS close to 400, slugging getting close to 600. 100 RBIs, 100 runs. Yeah, that's an all-star if I've ever seen one. It's a great year. Is that his best? Outside this Mets year, I think, it's definitely his best because he had 44 doubles this year. Career high in most everything. Cliff Floyd, 2001. That's your year. Mike Lowell. Won a World Series with the Red Sox. '07. That was the first World Series I ever watched. Also won it with Florida. 2-time champion. Yep. Home run hitter. Let's see what he did this year. Not a lot, but he had 100 RBIs. Wow. Nice. That's a good little nugget. He did that 3 times. Never eclipsed 100 runs. But 100 RBIs, that's a big deal. Perennially above average hitter. Always a good hitter. Mike Lowell. Started his career with New York. Didn't stick around very long. There was a trade involving him. Who did he get traded for? Josh Beckett, okay. Oh, and then this was Hanley Ramirez and Anibal Sanchez. Guillermo Moto, I think, was a good player as well. This was a big blockbuster trade. 05. Traded by them, yeah, to the Red Sox. That was a big trade. That was a massive trade, actually. That's like your classic blockbuster. Derek Lee, another home run hitter. Just a random little stretch with the Pirates, I remember. 05 was his best year. 01, what did he do this year? 21 homers, 37 doubles. That's a good year. OPS is over 800. This year, led in most everything and still didn't win MVP. Who won MVP in 05? Pujols. Okay, that checks out. Derek Lee. Who was he traded for? Because he was shipped off for nothing. Hee Seop Choi. Yeah, not much. Right after they won the World Series, that 03, it was just a fire sale. They just got rid of like everybody after that. It's Derek Lee for you. Kevin Millar, analyst, or is he still with MLB Network? He was. Chris Rose isn't anymore, but Millar, I don't know if he might still be with MLB Network. I haven't watched MLB Network in a long time. Really nice career. I guess I didn't realize how good he was. 04 Boston won. That was their first World Series. And then, yeah, look at these. Like really solid home run numbers. Very consistent. This 05 year was kind of just a blip. But he hit for good average too. Look at these double numbers. Man, Kevin Millar, have a career. Have a career. This is best year. You could make an argument. 20 homers, 39 doubles. It's a really good year. Corner infield, corner outfield guy. Good player. We might have got his best year in 01. Armando Almanza. Cool name. Second full season. Walked a lot of people. Strikeout per inning type of guy, but a lot of walks. Walk every other inning almost. Never really had a great year. Just in those little shortened years, he was kind of meh. Was on that 03 team. Doesn't say he has the World Series signet. So did not pitch in the playoffs, it seems like. Brandon Looper. Also on that team. Did he pitch in the World Series? Oh, he did. Who else did he win it with? The Cardinals. There you go. Good player. Like a lot of solid years. Also played for the Mets. Ended up on the Mets no, I'm looking at okay, so this was his third year, and then ended up on the Mets eventually. Ooh. He's a reliever turned starter. And it really didn't work out for him because he led the league in starts and oh my gosh! Holy smokes! He gave up 39 home runs in 2009. Oh my goodness. What an awful number. Led the league in starts in 09 with a 5.22 ERA. How bad was Milwaukee? feel like, yeah, they were like a 500 team. They're always just around 500. They're never bad. They're never good either, though. Pitch to contact guy. This guy couldn't strike anybody out. He didn't walk many, though. Like, these walk numbers are not bad comparative to his innings pitched. But you can see definitely he was a better reliever. Never got to 30 saves. Got close a couple times. Braden Looper, my. Alex Gonzalez. Early Alex Gonzalez, I would think. Yes. Wow, what an awful WAR this year. He was bad. Hit 200 and 400 at bats. That is not good. And that was coming off an all-star year. Why? Not sure exactly, but whatever. Was on the 03 team. Does give him that World Series credit. This was not a good year for him. Although, respectively, a better year than his previous year. Struck out a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of strikeouts. Antonio Alfonseca. Sometimes I get my, what do you call it? The emphasis wrong in the Spanish or Latin American names. Where's he from? Dominican? Yeah, okay. So this was his last year with Florida. Led the league in saves the year prior. Wow, 45 saves. Got an MVP vote or two. So he was the closer at this point. Antonio Alfonseca. 3.06 ERA. Realistically, it's better than this year when he had more saves. How did he get to where he was? Oh. So he was taken from the Expos in the minor league draft. So the Marlins, yeah, I guess this would have been the Marlins' first year because 1993 was the same year as the Rockies as well. Oh, he was in the Dontrelle Willis trade. That was right before. Oh, so he was. Wow, how about that? He was traded to get Dontrelle Willis, who was integral to their 2003 World Series. One of the better pitchers in this era. Charles Johnson. Good player. All-Star in that World Series year. Got some Rookie of the Year votes, couple or four-time Gold Glover, all in consecutive years. This was his return to Florida and came back and got an All-Star bid. Struck out a lot. Didn't really take his walks. Was he a good defender? Yes. Yes, he was. Ooh, this is a big reason why. Yeah, these Gold Glove numbers. And even this year, kind of turned it back a little bit. Good defense that year. Charles Johnson. What else did he really do? He had 30 home runs between a couple of teams in 2000. Good for home runs. Didn't steal any bases, though. Had more caught stealing than he did actual stolen bases. 20 doubles type of guy. See how he got back there. So this is 2000. Any names? Mike Hampton. Juan Pierre. Okay. Cool. Chris Narveson. Sheffield. He was in the Sheffield trade with a couple of these guys, too. So he was traded by the Marlins with Bobby Bonilla and Gary Sheffield for Piazza and Todd Zeile. Wow, that's a big trade. Brooke Fordyce. I remember finding his name somehow. Harold Baines was in this trade too. He was involved in some pretty crazy trades. Brooke Fordyce is this random guy that played for the Orioles. Just like a random dude, you know? It's the depths of baseball reference that I love diving into. It's fun to like be able to recognize those unrecognizable names at this point now that I've been looking at this website for so long. Dave Berg. Not much offensively, kind of just a bench guy it seems like. Averaging about 3 at-bats per game played. So, yeah, definitely just a bench guy. Had a good rookie year. Never hit for any power, though. All right. Cool, cool. Dave Berg. Chuck Smith. Oh, just 1 of 2 years. Did not play very long. Did not have the same luck that he did in his rookie year. Was 6th in Rookie of the Year voting in 2000. When was his last game? Is this his last game? Oh, boy. We got his last game. Chuck Smith. Let's see if he pitched any time after this in the minors. Oh, he went to Korea, it seems like, too. So 2001, then he was traded to Colorado, and then to Atlanta, and then Baltimore, and then he went and pitched in Korea. All right, so Chuck Smith, this is his final game ever. He was the starter for the Marlins. Okay, we'll dive into that a little bit. Ricky Bones, towards the end of his career. Yeah, this was at the end of his career, too. When was his last game? End of the year, okay. So the final year of Ricky Bones was a one-time All-Star with Milwaukee. Was a starter, moved to the bullpen. Never had a good year, except for this year. This year was good. And this year, too, his All-Star year. 2 different types of years, though, because he was a reliever this year and then a starter this year. This is only 2 good years, actually, Ricky Bones. And then Ryan Thompson, our last guy. His only year in Florida. Never played much. Was with the Mets a little bit. Oh, he had 18 home runs this year. Not a great year. No, he didn't play much either, so. Okay. Ryan Thompson. There you go. All right, let's check in on our guy Chuck Smith here. So Kevin Appier did not pitch well to start, and that pretty much sunk them, because then they didn't do much after that. Chuck Smith didn't pitch very well either, but he got the help of his bullpen. Ricky Bones gets the win. Almanza and Looper get the hold, and Alfonseca gets his 19th save of the season. I think he was around like 29 on this year. So who are our players of the game? Jay Payton, I think we saw, had a homer. Yep, Jay Payton a homer. He was the only 2-hit guy. Relaford had a 2 RBI double. This was for the Mets. This was later in the game. And then Ray Ordonez had a pinch hit single. Gary Bennett had a pinch hit single. Mike Piazza 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Robin Ventura 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And then on this side, Mike Lowell had a heck of a game. Dave Berg, RBI. Chuck Smith didn't strike out in his 2 at-bats, and then that was it for him. Marvin Hudson, Tim Welke, Dan Iasonia. I don't know this one though. So I know 3 of these umpires. Not a well-attended game. So Chuck Smith, he went 4 innings, right? Yeah, 4 innings. Let's go to that 4th inning, see if we can see what he did. He walked Piazza, struck out Zeile, got a fly out, and then Benny Agbayani was his final out, final strikeout of his career. he was replaced with... oh, he actually kept pitching. Oh, this was not ideal. So then he hits Jay Payton, gives up a single to Ray Ordonez, and then the double. So those 2 runs came off of him in this inning. He hit Alfonso, and then he walked. Oh, so this was not the end of his career that he was wanting. He should have just ended it here. It would have been what? Been 4-1. I guess they're trying to get him that 5th inning so he could get the win, but did not go very well. Hit by pitch single, double, hit by pitch walk. And that's the way his career ended. Well, that kind of stinks. All right. There you have it for your 4-3 victory for the Florida Marlins over the New York Mets. July 24th, 2001, just like a month before I was born. Cool to see that in Florida. Mets kind of hung around this, and then the Marlins kind of fell off after this. And the Pirates lost on this day. What do you know? All right, well, this is your Baseball Reference Deep Dive. This is episode 12, I believe, so make sure you like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more uploads. And, hey, if you enjoy watching, make sure you tune in for the next one. We'll have another Baseball Reference Deep Dive where we type in random in the search bar and we see what we can learn. Thanks for watching this episode. We'll see you next time.